Welcome, collectors, for another episode of Collector to Collector. We have with us today a very long-time friend of the community. He's been around on YouTube since 2008. That's crazy long amount of time. So stick around and check this out.
Welcome to For Collectors.
All right, thanks everybody. I am John, the 3D 80s kid, and you are watching For Collectors for Collectors. My special guest today is Jayson, Mr. Fisherbike. Welcome, sir.
What's going on? Thank you very much for having me on. And
the pleasure is all on this end. So
yeah.
You are the longest standing YouTuber now that I've interviewed. You surpassed Drew NDV or Lefty NDV.
Lefty NDV. Good guy. Good
yeah.
guy.
But I think his barrier there was his age, since he was only 17 when he started his channel. So
yeah.
He didn't get started sooner than that. But yeah, unfortunately, I was not able to see back in the original days of your channel, but as they are gone. But start things off. How did you even get into card collecting? When? Like, what was your first set or that you started gathering?
Yeah, my dad got me into it, and I was 6.5, almost 7 years old, 1986, 1987. So my birthday's 1980, so I turned 7 in 87. But my dad got me into it. We used to go to garage sales and stuff and search for, toys and odds and ends. And he bought some baseball cards at a garage sale. And then another couple of years later, we ended up trading. My dad had some fireworks from when we would go to Iowa, because I'm from Iowa. And I always had good ones up, in the States on the way to Iowa. So we'd save some. He traded a box of them, like a shoebox size, for a box of cards, a shoebox full of cards. And I picked through it and had Ricky Henderson rookie. I still have the, is it up there? Yeah, this one. The Dave Winfield rookie. I got
awesome.
Slabbed myself.
1974 Topps.
Yeah. So I got into it with him and just been heavy into it until maybe, I don't know, 98, 97, 98, 99. I was too cool for school, more into girls than I was into cards. And then I got back into it. So
understood. So, you didn't stay out for very long, though, since you were on YouTube by 2008. So when did you pick back up again then?
Well, I was only out from 97 to 99. And then I got back into it in 2000. A little bit in 2000, because that's when I went to fire school. And then 2001, I heavy got back into it.
And as it just, was it all modern during your collection, other than the occasional one like the Winfield there, or?
Yeah, I didn't have the funds to go any lower than like 1980. So I didn't get any real vintage cards back then, but mostly I hung with Griffey, the Red Sox, and then really my eye just wandered. So I tried to do 90s basketball. So I collected a lot of the Dream Team, the original Dream Team. So anybody that was on there, I collected inserts of them, a little bit of Jordan. And it took a while for me to focus in on something.
So all over Christian Laettner then, huh? So.
Yeah. I did actually have a few of his.
He was an above average player, so
he was. It was just the other stuff that people didn't like.
The fact that he was kind of a jerk, it seemed like, but
Yep.
Yeah. So through your then collecting years, at I mean, most of your older videos, I'm seeing lots of shine. I mean, when did you really even get into collecting vintage cards?
So it's always been something that I wanted, but just always that thought of it costs too much. I don't think I can afford it, so I don't even look at it. And so I'd say seriously getting vintage, the past probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. But I've picked up little bits and pieces for probably the last 10 or 15. Occasionally you'd see me pick something up, or I'd have something that I already had that was old that I'd send out to get graded. But not a lot. I got really hooked on the shiny stuff, and I'd say 04, 05, I really spent a lot on boxes. I used to break a lot of boxes, primarily prime cuts, 2005 and 4 prime cuts. And I got into the autographs. I got into jerseys, relics, patches, that type of stuff. So that caught my eye for quite some time.
So as someone who completely skipped past the shiny relic autograph era, because I stopped in 91 and didn't pick up till COVID. So
Yeah.
I mean, is it ultimately like almost gambling thrill that ends up being, or what's the whole?
I think it's the hunt, So like I have a couple rainbows, not much, but it's the hunt. And if you open that pack and you're like, oh man, I see something in there. I don't know who it could be, but it's definitely something shiny. Especially when you're like in 2002, 3, 04, I was buying packs from 95, 96, 97, and 98 and trying to get the inserts from then. So if I saw something that I knew the design, I was like, game on. I was so excited. And then if it wasn't the player I want, I did a lot of trading those cards back to the card shop for more packs of that stuff. So I wasn't the smartest of it. If I was really looking for Red Sox, Nomar, Griffey, and maybe just a few others. But if I didn't get those guys, I was trading them right back to the store. And then I started getting on the end of maybe like 2007, 8, 9, where I just kept everything. I didn't trade anything. I didn't sell hardly anything. And then it's just accumulated.
So then were you actually a really early eBay adopter as well? Or?
Yeah, 04. I remember getting eBay in 04 is when I started. I think that's what my profile says. And back then it was you buy something, you go get a money order, and you mail the money order to the seller, and then they mail the cards to you.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't trust the bank. They were just starting the bank stuff, I think, right when I got on. But I didn't trust putting my bank account on the internet, which, it is now. Everything's on it. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So then, like with your, collecting, obviously Red Sox, and your original channel name, Bo Sox Collector 24, is that Manny? Is that?
No, the 24 came from my first station that I was stationed at was number 24. And,
okay.
But also Griffey. So I really, really liked Griffey back in the day.
All right.
But mostly it was 24. And that was also one of my high school baseball numbers. I got moved from 24 to 18 my senior year. But I didn't want to change that number.
Yeah, I was wondering. I hadn't seen any particular Manny PC. And then
I tried doing Manny, but he was being real weird back, when he was being Manny. And I never really got into it. I wish I had an autograph, one of the autographs that I sold. I did trade and sell a little bit of that stuff. Just because when he went to different teams, I just kind of got, ticked off like you usually do. But
yeah. And then Dwight Evans was a little too soon. So,
yeah.
So how do you end up being a Red Sox fan in Iowa, though, is another question I have.
Yeah, I get that the most. So my dad was always a Yankee fan. And I already liked Whitey Ford the most because I was a left-handed pitcher. He's lefty, left-handed pitcher. But I didn't want to admit that I liked the Yankees. And I didn't really like the Yankees. So I just started looking at things. I did reports on Ted Williams. I did reports on Bobby Doerr. in school, middle school. And so I'd always just stuck around the Red Sox, and it was that rivalry that me and him kind of had. Any kind of game that they played together, we bet on. Any kind of, like, I remember distinctly 2007. The Red Sox and the Yankees were playing, and the Red Sox hit 4 home runs in a row, and I went nuts. And I called him up. I'm screaming at him in the phone, and they had done that to the Red Sox. And then when the Red Sox were down 3-0, he would call me every night that they lost. And then 0-4, just when they came back and just won it, it was pandemonium here. But yeah, it was just a rivalry that we created ourselves.
So I'm guessing you kind of formed that pre-teen, early teen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like something one of my kids would do at this point.
Yeah, I did mine, man. I think I've been a Red Sox fan as long as I've collected. So 87, 88, I started really into just pulling every single Red Sox card out that I could find.
Cool. So, now that you're into vintage, are you going for like Yastrzemski type run? Or I know you were very happy about the acquisition of that rookie card. Is that one of the cards you actually pulled? Or
I have it right here ready. I pulled down different ones because I figured I showed multiple ones before. But yes, I like rookies, which I know that's not your thing, and I totally understand the way that you're thinking, because you can get more bang for your buck with the second, third, fourth year cards. And I was initially just going to go for rookies, but then I started seeing other cards, like this Ted Williams. It's nothing near a rookie, but it's just a good looking card. It's got the red for the American League, the stars behind it, the whole design of it. I just love it. And I'm not being as picky anymore about only rookies, but I still collect the rookies. So I kind of, where I had that wandering eye with the shine and the relics and all that stuff, has moved to vintage, where I just want to get as much as I can of the players that I like.
Yeah, and someone like me that came back after, or didn't get into vintage until the boom was already happening, is like, man, you had all those prime collecting years where this stuff was so much cheaper.
Yep.
Kind of kick yourself now?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I remember buying a collection 2005. I bought a big box. I mean, like a box that was like what Sam's Clubs gets their toilet paper in, like that big of a box of starting lineups, sets, team sets, football, basketball, baseball, a little bit of hockey. And I had in there probably from 65 to 74 or 72 football sets, every single card, all the rookies. I had, just probably two or three of those little clamshells that had 15 to 20 cards, and each one was a Drew Brees rookie, multiple Tom Brady rookies, Crown Royale rookies. Didn't really care for them. I ended up trading them away, and I traded them for new shiny boxes. And the baseball cards that were in there that were rookies, there was a couple Mickey Mantles, sold those. They weren't Red Sox, so I sold them. So I definitely got rid of some stuff that I regret. But, it's part of the game.
Sure.
Can't tell the future.
Clearly you couldn't. But at least you found your way now. So
oh yeah.
So like now, do you still end up buying lots of packs? Are you purely switched to vintage, or what's your game now?
I used to be really hot and heavy into Nomar. I still am. I still collect them, but that would be the only thing that I searched. Low number stuff, like this is numbered to 50. It's really hard to get. But now I'm focusing more on vintage. Occasionally when I'm at Walmart, I'll buy a blaster box here or there, especially since they're becoming on sale now. You're starting to see the $17 boxes, which is a little more easy to swallow than the $30 or $35, retail box. But
Sure.
yeah, if I'm buying something, it's mostly going to be vintage or trading. It's mostly going to be trading for vintage. And I do have a stack of stuff that I'm trying to move. That's my trade box. That's modern stuff, and I'm trying to turn it into vintage. So I am very, very heavy interested into in vintage now.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, do you try to sell any on eBay too, or what's your game there?
I have a couple things listed, but I don't like the $600 thing. It really kind of chaps me a little bit. I don't want to have to claim stuff on our taxes. It really is annoying that, you used to be able to sell, up to 20,000, and now it's $600, and it's kind of, so I sold one card for the total with shipping and taxes and everything was $105, and I cleared $80. So the fees were ridiculous as well. So I don't know. I'd rather trade because I know it's going to a friend and they know their card's coming to me. So I love trading, and it's something that everybody gets what they want,
Yeah. I mean, the $600 thing killed my efforts on eBay as well. I didn't want to have to deal with it. So
it's just another added pressure when it comes tax season, and that's already crazy enough. So
exactly. All right. So, you have been on YouTube a really long time.
Yeah.
How did you even end up starting that to begin with?
Man, so like I said, in 04, 05, I opened a bunch of packs, a bunch of boxes. And 06, 07, I started mainly 07. I looked up on YouTube. I'm like, I don't even know how it might've been just somebody that mentioned it to me. Like, man, there's people on YouTube collecting baseball cards or opening packs. So I was like, oh, let me jump on. So I've logged in, and the first guy I saw was Cards Infinity, Chris Justice. And he was doing group breaks where you could buy into it just like you see now and be a part of this, back then, $200-$300 box that I couldn't afford for, $5, $10, $15. And I get a random team where you pick the team. And so I started watching heavy 07 and, early 08 videos on box breaks and stuff like that. And then I started seeing guys come in like AR Platinum had a channel. Sevens, AR Falk 77, Siktifer 2024. These guys are, a year ahead of me, and they were showing their cards. So I'm like, man, I can do that. And my first videos for the first probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 months, it was just my hands. Like I had the camera facing that way, and it was just my hands because I didn't want to put my face on camera. And so I kind of worked up the courage and started doing them myself. And I didn't do them on my phone because I didn't have a good phone. So I had I got a really nice digital camera. Well, back then it was nice, but I would use that on a tripod, and I would do that. And then I'd turn it around and face it towards me, and I'd flip the little like screen up so I could see the screen, but it was upside down because I flipped it this way. And so it was an adjustment period for, the first couple months, but I did that until 2009 with that channel. And then I got hacked, and got my password for that. They got my password for eBay, and they got my password for PayPal, which stupidly enough, it was all the same password. And so it wasn't hard. I don't do that now. But they drained my PayPal, which didn't have much. It was like $40 to $60 or something like that. But they deleted all my listings on eBay. And that's how I noticed that I got hacked on eBay, is because I had probably 100 listings and they were all deleted and taken down. And I'm like, was something wrong? So I started contacting eBay, and they said, it looks like they were taken down on this date, this time. So I changed the password, didn't work. Or I tried to, because when you stay logged in on a computer and you don't log out, you can see that screen that you go to. Well, then when I logged out to try to clear it, I logged back in and the password was changed. So that's when I contacted eBay, and I was like, what's going on? And they said, it looks like these were all deleted here. You got to we need to do this. They had to get my info that they knew of me, what I entered when I started my eBay. And then the same thing kind of happened with PayPal and YouTube, but YouTube couldn't recover it because, you know, it's deleted videos. They deleted all this stuff on my channel. And I was just like, I'm not gonna. So I deleted the channel. And 2010, early 2010, I had started this channel to make mountain bike videos, because that's where my name comes from, Mr. Fisherbike. I have a Gary Fisher bike. It's a Trek bike, but it's a special like edition, Gary Fisher edition. So that's why Mr. Fisherbike. And I never made a video for mountain biking. So I was like, oh, I'll just do this one as card stuff. So I got back into card stuff, because there was a time there where early 09, there was a box of stuff that I had in my car at a card shop, and it was stolen. And I lost probably, I don't know, $3,500 worth of cards in that. And I was real down on it. So I didn't do anything with videos. I didn't do anything with YouTube. And then I missed it. So I got back into it with this channel.
Well, I'm glad you got back into it. So
yeah. But it's fun. It's fun.
So you actually did show your face on the original channel too, because there was quite a while before you showed it on this new channel. So
yeah, it was what, a year maybe. I had to look back at my videos, so I couldn't even remember. But yeah, I say probably maybe close to a year. But yeah, I didn't want to be something like that happen again. So I was paranoid.
So looking back at your history, one of the common things with you that everybody pretty much knows you as you are Mr. Video in the Car guy. So
yeah.
Your first one, at least on this channel, was October 2nd, 2012.
Oh,
and
wow.
as I went through, it was at least every other video was a car video for a long time.
Yeah. So, that came about because the PO box, I don't use my home address for deliveries, because I had the same thing with the eBay. So I didn't want my address just being out there. And so the PO box is on the way to work. So I don't have the patience, I'm too giddy when I get something that I want to open it. And I don't want to just open it and stack it over here. And then I got a stack of stuff that I got to go through. I like to get it, do a video, and, put it away. So I would rip it open on camera. I just put I take the phone and sit it in the little side door holder. And that's where I did a lot of them, where I put it up by the speedometer. And it was just, I got my video done. Now when I get home from work, I can put it away and it's safe.
Yeah, it was a couple of years of you setting it looked like on the armrest of the door, so you weren't really still showing your face.
Yep. Paranoid Patty.
But we did get a little bit of a crotch shot on most of those. That was unfortunate. So
you
only adjusted yourself that I noticed once. So I do have a few pictures that I pulled just to have some fun with you here.
I'm sure I had different glasses every picture.
This was your first appearance on camera that I got to see here.
that might have been, oh man, what was that for?
It was a VR for somebody, Jayson something, that you were doing some kind of pretending rant that like he was awful.
I think that was for oh man,
I don't remember, but
I forgot his channel name. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Someone who's disappeared.
Yeah,
but
a lot of good guys don't do videos anymore.
So that was fun. And now this was your first little quick blip on camera that you just threw in at the very last second of a video. That was not until May of 2013.
Yeah, that was the old house.
So, and then now this was the first camera where you held it there the whole time and did the whole video showing us cards.
Yeah.
from that perspective there.
Man,
Which,
look at the bend on that bill.
Look
I
at that
wish I
young
still
guy.
had that hat too. That was a good hat. I wish I still had that hat.
And then I did get a snapshot. You know, I've had the pleasure of watching your young family grow up a bit.
Oh yeah.
This was your first picture of your daughter here. That was
my first
from
one. 13.
That was from 4/18/2013.
Yeah.
Was the date of this video. So
Yep.
cool stuff. Because I saw the recent video of her and your younger daughter opening packs. So
yep, up on the mountain. Yeah. Yeah, that's a crazy time.
But you know, some other significant things. Well, the other thing that struck me was you were exchanging care packages for a bit from a guy who you kept referring to as Man Spokane.
Yep.
It's pronounced Spokane, by the way, which makes
Yeah.
it make more sense with Man Spokane.
Yeah.
Because you kept wanting to say Main Spokane.
Yeah.
But the thing that struck me as funny is you started that on February 11th of 2014.
Okay.
Which just happens to be like the second week I lived in Spokane.
Oh, wow.
I lived in Spokane for only 2 years.
Okay.
And that coincided with the start of me living there for 2 years of when you started exchanging things with a guy there. So
yeah, that's crazy.
But
that's awesome. Yeah, that was a good channel too. Yeah, really good channel.
Yeah, he's been away for 6 years, unfortunately. So
yeah,
never came back.
Come back. Yeah.
But you know, watching you spend a lot of time with modern in most of the history of your channel. But
yeah.
I did see people very much liked your vintage card video recently.
I can't, dude, and I still show my wife. I'm like, so I texted Lou Rock, Sticks and Seams Mike. He's one of my real close friends. And maybe one or two other people. I can't remember because it was a while ago. I know I did maybe the Drew. But I said, did you see my video? It's got like 700 likes or views on it. And then all of a sudden it's like 1,000. And I started keeping an eye on it. And I'm texting Lou and Mike and I'm like, what's going on with this thing? So the last time I looked at it, it was at 1,600. So I was like, whatever. Something was triggered in the algorithm that people got to see it. And I just looked maybe 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, and is it like 3,500 or 3,400? I haven't looked since you said it, but
I looked today and it's at 4,200.
I don't know what got triggered, because then if you look at that right after, it's like 40 views, 100 views, 50 views, 80 views. That's right around where I sit, 50 to 100 views. But depending on what the content is. But that one, I tried that title, the hashtags. I tried an older picture like I chose for that one, like an old school picture. I haven't been able to recreate it. I don't know what the algorithm trigger was, but that one went bananas. And it wasn't like it was something special because it was ungraded cards. And the best one I want to say was like a Hank Aaron in there, but it wasn't it wasn't a rookie. It was like a 67. I think.
Yeah, it's mostly 67s with quite a few 70s cards.
Yeah, so I don't know what was the kicker on it, but something happened.
Well, you went hobby viral.
Yeah. And I think only 2 of those views are mine because it only lets you count them on different things, and I only got a computer and a phone. So, but yeah, it was nuts. It's still going. My wife's like, you should have been monetized. I'm like, babe, I'm way far away from being monetized. I have the subs, but I don't have the views, the hours.
Oh yeah, the watch hours is quite the obstacle.
Yeah, and that's never been a thing of mine anyway. So I just do it for the friends and the relationships that we've formed.
Well, speaking of that, that's where I was going next. I mean, watching the history of your video, I don't think anybody has done more VRs in the history of the sports card community than you. Yeah. What's your deal with the VRs, man?
Man, I like coming up with ideas to do stuff, and I'm a type of guy that if I don't have these Post-it notes around, I forget. So for me, if I do a VR, right when I think of it, I throw it up, and I'm like, okay, it's up. It's an idea. If it takes off, it takes off. If not, then it'll be a train wreck on camera. But it's just something I like doing. I like sending out care packages. I like doing the Christmas, sending out Christmas packages, just little things to get cards into people's collections. And I don't know. I think I'd like to. Do you know when the first one I did was? Because I don't.
Well, the first one I got to see was for 75 subscribers in 2013. So
okay. So yeah. So I was in the beginning. I will admit, I was trying to get the sub count up because I was at stuck at 50 for so long, or 100 for so long, or 75. And I when I hit like I don't know 200 or 300, I was like, okay, I'm good. I got 300 subs because. In 08, when I started, if you had 1,000 subs, it was equivalent of like sports card investor guy, where he's got 100,000 subs. That was the equivalent. Where if you had 1,000 back then, you were like up here. Now, if you have 200, you're like, man, what am I doing wrong or whatever. But when I hit 200, I was like, okay, let's go, we're good now. But I started building more friendships, and then when you do more videos, the main reason I started doing more of them is because there's channels like yours. If I didn't see yours on another VR, I wouldn't have known you were even out there, because I don't sit on YouTube and search, certain type of baseball cards. I just kind of watch a few videos. I let that algorithm bring me a couple videos on my home screen, and then I start watching videos, and every once in a while somebody new will pop up. Like that's how I found Old Sarge. Is it Old Sarge Cards or Old Sarge Collects?
Old Sarge Collects, yeah.
Collects, yeah. So his popped up on my home screen one time, not my subscription screen, but my home screen, and I was like, oh, that's pretty. I saw the background, and I started watching it. But I like doing the VRs because you'll get somebody that will bring another channel into my life or into my hobby, and oh, that's pretty cool. Let's do another VR. And I think there was a string there where I did a VR, and then maybe 2 months later, I was like, I got another idea. So let's do another VR and give away a couple cards or give away a stack of cards or whatever. I like doing like these two. I still haven't sent them out because I've been slacking, but these two are 2 stacks for the one that I just did, where Baseball Collector and Chris from Missouri won. So I like doing the custom care package. So I know what they collect. So I try to find stuff for their collections and just make a big old stack and send it to them as a prize.
Well, that makes sense to me, because watching through your history, I was amazed at just how frequently you were doing like trades with people through the mail, or even just care packages back and forth.
Yeah, and you can search Bo Sox Collector 24, and you'll see videos from other people that I've done trades with, like P-Dazzle 1010 is what his channel was. Paul, he's a phenomenal dude. He's been one of the ones that I've stuck around with. I think he's been on longer than I have, actually, and or right around the same time. But I did a couple trades with him. Tom Gatos, I don't know if he still has the same channel name, but it's Hudson Fan 15. Did a bunch of trades with him. So if you search Bo Sox Collector 24, you can find some videos from back in the day. It's pretty fun to see what I sent out and what I traded.
Awesome. But yeah, you're the most immersed person that I have found to date that is just like constantly exchanging things around the community. So
yeah, it's fun.
Clearly, you were all about community, and it makes sense. You got inducted into the YouTube Hall of Fame as a result. So, how did that feel?
Good. Honestly, I was like, you get that when he started doing it. I'll admit that I kind of gave him a little bit of crap for it, and I shouldn't have. I was kind of picky, and I thought it was a what do you call them?
Making it be a click in crowd.
Yeah. And I fell into that like negative side of poo-pooing on his idea, and kind of snapped out of it a little bit, because a couple of the people that were putting that in my head they're not in the community anymore, and they weren't really, I don't know, they weren't, I'm not going to say not friends, but they were negative about certain things. But when it, like the second and third year hit around, I'm like, man, I shouldn't have been like that because nobody's putting my name up. I was real like, you know. And then when it finally started gaining ground in I think it was 21 is when I got in. My brain is awful. I can't remember hardly anything. I think it was 21.
I didn't note
Yeah.
that, but
well, whatever. I think it was 20 or 21. I think it was 21 because I don't think it was the first year of COVID. But I was like, oh man, these guys really do enjoy what I'm doing, because the comments that was left and the things that were said, just, I mean, it does humble you when people like your stuff that you spend time putting up and spend time searching for and buying and acquiring. So it's definitely is humbling, even though it's our small little, you know, community. It's still fun.
Yeah, it's good to give people praise. And then I have looked at it as an opportunity where, like for the Hall of Fame, everybody who got a vote, since Jake gives that list, you know, I took it as an opportunity. I'm going to subscribe to every single channel that got a vote so I can see what they're doing.
Same here.
And doing the same thing. I haven't done it yet. I need to freeze frame Eric's video where he shows his list.
Yeah. So. And it's a catch-22 when you do that, because I do the same for the Hall of Fame, and it gets to the point where you're subscribed to so many channels. Like I've missed so many videos where Lou will text me, or me and Dylan will be texting. He's like, hey, did you see that? Or we're talking about something, and he's like, oh yeah, when so-and-so said this. And I'm like, wait, I must have missed that video. So then I'm like flipping on my screen trying to find where the video was. I'll go to their channel, and so you do get so many videos on your feed that nobody can watch every single video. I don't think it's possible.
Well, all that's required is for you to do them at 2x speed, and they have to be nonstop playing all day long. So
yeah,
so that's
not
the key.
Much.
That's what I try to do. So
yeah. Does it make it? I've never watched one on 2x. Does it make it harder to understand, or is it just sped up a little bit?
I've gotten to the point of watching most people on 2x, unless they're a very fast talker. That's how I process it better almost now.
Yeah, you're training your ear to hear, like the Micro Machine Man.
Exactly.
Yep.
But so, I mean, clearly you are deeply immersed in this community, while also heavily interacting with your family. How have you found the balance there?
It's summers are hard because to do videos, because we do like to do a summer trip for the girls when, you know, they're out of school. We don't want it to just be a boring old summer. But they're in gymnastics, and they're fixing to do or start in January swim as well. And swim team, try to get them on a swim team. And it's tough to keep up videos, which is also another reason that the PO or the card videos help, because I can throw something real quick, and I feel like I'm actually still taking part in my own channel. And recently, when my PO box closed, my local post office closed. I know those are on video. They moved my PO box to like 25 miles or minutes the other way, not on the way to work. So I only get to check it like I checked it today, and there's 2 things in here, and I don't even know who they're for. I know one from somebody, but I don't know the name of the other one. But I haven't checked it in 3.5 weeks. So that's very unheard of for me, which is also a reason I really haven't bought much, because I don't want to have to drive all the way out to, you know, BFE to go to the PO box. But there is one that's opening up like right across the street from where the old one was. And I got my name on a list for a PO box for there. So it's going to change now. It'll be back on the way to work. But that's where the car videos also come into play, where it's easier for me to pop a video on. Now the girls are getting really into Pokemon. So and they like opening packs. So that's part of the reason I still buy retail boxes, because they like opening a few packs with me. And so that's easier to say, hey girls, you want to go do a pack video, or you want to go do this or that, or look at the cards. And I'll get them up here on the carpet, and they got I give them a small stack of baseball card commons that in football that they lay out, and then all their Pokemon they lay out. So I'm up here sorting cards. They're down there sorting cards. It's real cool. It's fun to do because I did the same thing with my dad, and it drove my mom bonkers, and it does the same with my wife. So
Awesome.
yeah.
All right. Did you have any other cards you wanted to show?
I pulled out a few
on the side for your collection.
So I showed you the Winfield and then the Nomar and the Teddy. This is the type of thing that I was really heavy into in 03 to 06, mostly 04, 05. I really loved the cut autographs and low numbered stuff. So back then, 25, that was holy cow.
That's a Tony Glenn. What set is that out of?
This is from Leaf Certified Cuts from, I believe that says 04. Yeah, 04 Leaf Certified Cuts. And there's a little, the piece of jersey here, and then the cut check, the canceled check. I love those because it's legit because it's on a check.
Sure.
And then I like booklets for a while. I got a few booklets. This one's numbered to 25 also. But I got a Ripken booklet. Oh, there's actually right here.
That was a nice Johnny Bench there.
Yeah. And this was my one of my purchases from the 2017 National, the only one I've been to. It was, I thought, and I put stickers on the back of them to help me remember. But I got this for like $100, which I thought was a great deal. And I think it came in the case. I'm not 100% on that, but I think it came in the case, so it made it even look cooler. And then this one, another community great, Brad, 8671. I did an epic trade with him for this Mickey Mantle and a couple other autographs. So
what is inside the Oklahoma? Is that jersey or
jerseys? So the O, the L, the A, the H, the M, and the A are jerseys, and then the two O's, or the other O and a K, are bat.
Oh, cool.
But it's number 10 from Sterling. I love this product. This was the high end stuff back in the day when I was buying prime cuts for $150 or whatever it was. These were selling for $300, which was, I thought, man, I can get 2 boxes of prime cuts for the same price of one of those. And then, like I said, I do vintage. I like vintage. I like vintage rookies. This one right here came from none other than Dylan, Double D. And we made a nice trade. I traded him a 101 Dave Winfield autograph for this. And another stack of cards. But I love getting, and I have a book, a little binder. I should have brought it home, but it's at work because it's when I have off time, I try to remember things that I want to pick up. But I left the book there, and it's fun to check one off the box. And then Lou's going to give me crap for these two, but you got to respect the captain, Jeter. But I sent that away to another guy, Josh Touye. Jay Touye Cat. He was a guy that did a lot of YouTube videos. He's done a few in the past couple of years. Sorry, somebody texted me. But I sent that away myself and got a 9. And then this was for my dad's collection. It's a 4, but he put that up on his wall when I gave it to him. And then when he passed, everything that was basically sports related came to me. But that's something that'll be buried with me. And then, newer guys, rookies that they have. Scott Rowland, the gold foil.
Yeah.
So I like a little bit of everything.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, I'm still shocked at the Jeters when, you're a Nomar guy.
Yeah, and I still think Nomar belongs in the Hall of Fame. I get poo-pooed on a lot for that, but
well, I'd say his peak was higher than Jeter, but his peak was so damn short.
It was subtle, or it was sudden. Yeah, sudden up and sudden down. If he didn't get injured, man, and if you go back and look at the time frame or timeline of when he was traded to the Cubs, and we got our first World Series. If you go and follow the trades that happened and the people that came to the Red Sox, he's responsible for getting us still somewhat responsible for getting us our first World Series, breaking that curse. That's why he got an 04 ring.
Yeah.
They actually made him one and gave it to him. So it's if you look at it, it's crazy. I did it 5-6 years ago, but I followed the timeline of who and where and what we got for him. But I just wish he was able to stick around a little bit longer without being hurt.
I mean, I don't know how he feels about it since he wasn't there, but that was a classy move.
Absolutely.
For them to do that.
Absolutely. Oh. Yep. He was the face for so long.
Yeah. All right. So that is the standard part of my interview. I've got some personal questions here to get to some inside knowledge into how your brain works here.
Oh, geez. Good luck with that.
All right. So, number one, as a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A baseball player. As soon as I started pitching, I wanted to be a pitcher. And I started when I was 12, maybe. I played center field and first base before that. But, yeah, I wanted to be a baseball player. Tried my hardest. Well, didn't work out, but.
I heard you mention something about it at least made it to college.
Yep, I played a little bit of college ball and didn't last in college. It was just college wasn't something I wanted to do. And it was either the Navy or then when I went from the recruiter, I went to a Navy recruiter with a buddy. And on the way home, I found a volunteer fire department and I stopped in just to see what was the deal. And I got hooked as soon as I was able to get my background check and everything, got signed off to be on the truck. Within a week of being signed off, I had an apartment fire where there was like 2 apartments fully involved, and you're not fully involved, but enough to where we could go in and put it out, and didn't have to stand outside. And I was just hooked. I knew I wanted to do that. So I went back to the recruiter and told him I wasn't going to the Navy. And he's like, well, I can't fight that.
Cool.
So, yeah. And I actually tried out for the Rays in 2002. They had an open tryout that my dad found while he was reading the newspaper. And he's like, you should go. So I was 21 years old. I was like, all right, I'll go. I mean, it's open, free, give me a shot. There was like 450 people and you get invited back for the second day and it happened. So I was like, oh man, that maybe there's something to this. And then, but you could see the people that they knew, they'd go behind their, a catcher and they wouldn't have a clipboard. And they'd say the guy's name and they'd say, throw whatever you want. They wouldn't have a gun up, nothing like that. And then they'd come to me and they'd look at the clipboard and they'd say my name, throw this, throw that, throw this, move on to the next guy. It's like, all right, well, we knew who they were picking, but it was just a formality.
I did not know they did that stuff that recently. So that's cool.
2002. I want to say that one and maybe one more were the last ones that they did for the Rays. They were the Devil Rays, but yeah.
I mean, that feels like a practice that would have gotten stopped in like the 70s to me.
You saw it, and when my dad saw it, he was like, they're have an open tryout. So I think it was because they were so new. Like 98, they started, and that was 4 years later. So I think it was just something that they were trying, All
right. So no Vince Papale story for you, though.
No, unfortunately not.
Who's the most famous person you've ever encountered in real life?
Oh, man. Most famous or to me most famous?
However you want an answer.
I met Ted Williams, and at his museum. Me and my dad went for the opening day on the Home Assassin Museum. And stupidly enough, and I did the same thing with Mickey Mantle, I didn't get an autograph. I paid there was a fee where you could pay to meet him, and then you could pay to get a signature. And went to go see Ted Williams. My dad knew I wanted to meet him. I met him, shook his hand. Couldn't even tell you what I asked him or talked to him about, but I remember I shook his hand and smiled at him, and we went on our way. It was the last thing we did until before we left and went home. And then Mickey Mantle was at a mall in St. Pete, I think, Florida. I think it was St. Pete. And it was like $15-20 to get in line to get his autograph. But we didn't pay it. But when we were leaving, his handler, whatever you want to call him, friend, was packing up. I got to shake his hand, but I didn't ask for an autograph. So I don't know what was going through my head. I was probably 12 or 13 when I met him. Yeah, it was silly, but I'd say them. Those
photos of either one, though?
Nope.
Oh, geez.
Nope. Yeah. So now when that stuff happens, like I know I posted a photo, I believe I posted on the end of one of my videos of when I met Evan Longoria at a Lightning game. And as soon as I saw him, my buddies that was with me there, they knew I collected them. And they were like, go say hi. I was like, I don't want to do that. I feel like I don't know. I don't want to do that and interrupt him. He's like, go say hi. So I went up and said his name. He's like, I said, you take a picture? And he's like, yeah. So I instantly was like, photo. This happened. I'm going to get this. And that's what led to me and him just, going back and forth for the cleats. I found him on Instagram and just went back and forth with him there. And that, the rest was history.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it actually happened. At first I thought, I know there's a little blue check mark, but at first I was like, what if it's not him? What if I'm getting catfish or whatever? And it was fun stuff.
All right. Yeah. What's your favorite song?
Oh man. My kids hate it because I love it and I sing all the words to it, but it's Walking in Memphis by Mark Cohen. And
Yeah.
I scream it. I'm not a good singer, but I know all the words to it. So I scream it. I would say that, or my karaoke go-to is Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice.
And I know firsthand you're not a good singer because there was
Absolutely
a video
not.
where you were singing along with the radio and changing the words.
Oh yeah. I love to do that too. They hate that, but I love to do that.
I pondered clipping that and including that here, but
Oh man, yeah, that's ear bleeding.
but all right. If you could choose any superhero power, what would you like to have?
Oh man, I would say maybe telekinesis.
That's a cool one.
Yeah, I'd like to have telekinesis. Either that or flying. Flying would be pretty cool because then you could just go wherever you want. But
yeah,
that's kind of a everybody answer.
That is the most common answer to that question.
Yeah.
But yeah, telekinesis. That's you're halfway to being a Jedi at that point, right?
Absolutely.
You have well, let's exclude the standard pet animals. Do you have a particular favorite animal that you identify with?
Yes, I do. My favorite animal of all time is goats.
Okay, I've not
Love
heard
goats.
that one before. That needs some explanation.
I don't know. What started it was just the baby goats, and they have like the dwarf goats. They're cute, and the noises that they can do. And then if you get the ones that faint, those are cool. And goats have a certain thing with their voice box, if that's what it's called in a goat, where they can scream. And I'm sure you've seen the screaming goat videos and stuff. That actually can happen. So if you get a goat that gets, I think it's when it's too excited or it's not developed, it can scream instead of baaing or baying or whatever, or neighing or whatever they call it. But I just think they're cool. And then the fainting goats they're funny. So I'd love to have either a dwarf goat or a fainting goat, but my HOA doesn't allow it. So
That's too bad because then you wouldn't necessarily need to mow the lawns as much.
right? Yeah.
If you had the ability to swap lives for a day with anyone in history and get to experience, through them, what would it be?
Oof. Man, that's a good question. I would say, man, I don't know. I'd have to say like somebody involved with, and it's, I don't know, maybe not be on the receiving end of it, but like involved with World War II and just being a part of maybe like going to boot camp with somebody that had to go to World War II, was in World War II in the Army, just because I've been drawn to the World War II historical events and stuff like that pretty much my whole life. Just very interesting on the different weaponry and the different vehicles and tanks and stuff like that they used. So I'd say some, grunt that just had to, go to World War II and had to go to boot camp. Nobody special, but just somebody that I could do that with and experience it.
Okay, that's a unique answer there.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite movie?
Yes, I do. It's a more recent one, but my wife and I laugh every single time we watch it. It's Step Brothers. I mean, I don't think I've watched it less than 50 times. And every single time is like the first time we watch it. We just laugh at little comments and stuff. But that's a favorite movie, like recent movie, but my wife and I still have the same exact favorite movie, which is The Goonies. That's all time.
That was the answer I was expecting because I'd heard you say it in a video, actually.
Yep. I have the set.
That's why I had these things in front of me ready to go.
Yeah, I got that set. I got it in the binder.
Awesome.
Yeah, my recent movie is the Step Brothers movie, but all time is Goonies for sure.
Really cool thing that we are looking forward to is that for years, the Goonie house that's near me in Astoria, Oregon, was owned by somebody who didn't want anybody around it. And it was recently sold and purchased by somebody working on making it a museum. So,
yeah, and I hear there's one neighbor that doesn't want it, but everybody else is like, yeah, go for it.
Oh, I didn't hear about that one, but the moment that thing's open, we're going to be visitors.
I want to go. I want to go so bad. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we've already walked around and, the whole rock they line up with the doubloon. It is, off the coast over here too. They're all within the vicinity. So we've slowly, know where that is. And
that's awesome.
It's
is that restaurant actually there or is it just a cliffside?
No. Yeah. All of it was really faked, as far as the
CGI and stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's all just different locations around that northwest corner of Oregon. So
I figured.
For us is only like an hour or so drive. So,
oh, wow. That's awesome. That's really fun.
But did you have a favorite subject in school?
Oh, man, I didn't like school.
So I was guessing when you said college wasn't for you.
Yeah, I didn't like school much until I got to high school, and then I got really into like American history and things like that. But I'd say pretty much PE was it. Like I'm good at math. That was kind of a natural type thing, but my dad was the one that is responsible for me being good at math. But I would say, PE. I like being outside and running around.
PE was fun. I mean, you got to play different sports. It was almost like having recess again to me.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite food?
Pizza.
That is
pizza every day of my life.
Popular answer.
Yep. Pizza or burritos. I love burritos too.
And that's pretty much nationally in the United States. I think the number one answer on that question is pizza.
Yeah. Yep.
Typically. So, so in this alternate reality now, you cannot be a Red Sox fan. What team is your second choice?
I'd have to say the Rays. Yep, the Rays.
How long have you been down in Florida now?
Since I was 2. So 41 years almost. November's my birthday, so almost 41 years. Yeah.
So they moved out of Iowa when you were a baby then?
Yeah, I was 2 when we moved down here, and my dad moved for just to get away from the weather. My sister and brother had asthma real bad, and the cold was really tough on them. So we moved to Florida.
Okay. So were you a fan of the name change when they went from just Devil Rays to Rays, or what were your thoughts?
I was. I never really liked the Devil Rays. I didn't really like the bright colors on the. It's okay for a throwback now and then but I like the Rays. It makes more sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was my 10 questions to get to know more about you. So at this point, any last thoughts you want to share with the audience?
No, I just really appreciate you asking me to be on. I like I was telling you, you're the first person that's been able to interview. I've been asked before, but just schedules and stuff don't line up, and this was able to come to fruition. So I was excited to be a part of it.
Well, I kept drilling in and drilling in to make it work.
Well, and that's the thing too. If somebody texts me and I start to leave texts in my phone now because I'll forget who I talked to or who I asked certain things or who I'm trying to trade something with. My memory is not what it used to be, but I'm glad you kept bugging me because not bugging me, but asking me because that it made me remember like, okay, I need to look at the schedule. You know, I got busy and forgot to look. Now I got to go back and look. So I'm glad you did that.
Well, thanks for joining me. It was a real pleasure.
Absolutely.
I am, still personally after, only doing this for a little over a year in awe of these folks that are, decade plus
Yeah,
doing this thing. So
it's a labor of love, but it's a fun labor of love.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because, I feel like I'm building these friendships now that I'm going to have the rest of my life. So,
and that's the point.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So, all right. Well, thank you very much, Jayson. Thanks everyone for watching. We will all see you next time on For Collectors. Yeah, buddy.